Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Lionsgate's new film, Zeros and Ones, and this is from director and writer Abel Ferrara, who has been pretty busy recently with Siberia and Tommaso last year, and this is starring Ethan Hawke. My screener had a little message from Ethan Hawke beforehand, which was interesting. He obviously loves film very much and the craft of acting, and was very excited to be working with Abel Ferrara based off of all the work that he's done with Willem Dafoe. I don't love his work. I've seen some of his films, and some of them really stuck out as something very interesting and compelling, but never really fully came together for me, and then some other ones were just like, what the hell am I watching? And this particular one was definitely much more on the side of like, there's something really compelling going on here, but I don't know if it really all comes together. There's an interesting mix of the way that this film looks. It's a very Ferrara look to it. And cinematographer Sean Price Williams does an interesting thing in terms of like the grittiness of the footage of this film. Looks like it might have even been found on like a VHS tape. And it has that kind of look to it. And then Joe Delia, who is the composer for this film, uses some really riffing guitar, and it gives a very specific kind of feel to it, and there's an atmosphere about this film, and Ferrara always does, and that is always something that's consistent and interesting about his films, because they always look very much his and also look interesting and dynamic, and this is something different, and it looks intense, it's gritty, and you feel voyeuristic as you're sitting here watching this film. Ethan Hawke gives two really compelling performances as two brothers with varying ideologies in terms of how to deal with the greater world. One, JJ, he's the main character, he's an American soldier stationed over in Rome during when a bunch of attacks start happening. And he goes on these missions, he gets caught up in a lot of deceit, and is forced to do some things that doesn't really want to, and then you see some clips of his brother, and that's where like Hawke really gets to like act, and really engrossing and compelling in the way that he portrays his strong ideologies that feeling very erratic and are just being thrown out there, and it's really impressive. Like, Ethan Hawke has come a long way from being that kid from Dead Poets Society, and even just like his performance in like Training Day, that he's a world-class actor at this point and takes some very challenging and intriguing roles, and this feels something very interesting and different for him. And like, he is this tough as nails kind of soldier, and he's dealing with like, you know, this does fall into a lot of those tropes of like spies, and it's like double cross, double cross, double cross, double cross. And like, you just expect those things to happen after a while. And I don't know if this narrative really comes to a really satisfying conclusion at this point, but like, it feels like I appreciate living in this hour and 20-minute experience, even if by the end I'm just like, did I feel like this really did anything? And that's the interesting thing about Ferrara's films, because it is much more of like a feeling and an experience that maybe leaves a lot to be desired narratively, and I still feel like Zeros and Ones kind of falls into that. But even just worth it from the arresting visuals and also Ethan Hawke, this is definitely worth giving a watch, especially for all you cinephiles out there. And it's coming out on my birthday, November 19th, there you go. But those are my thoughts on Zeros and Ones. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.